We learned through our reporting that Nova Scotia's Child Protection Office had been contacted by the kids' school out of concern about the way they were showing up at school. We don't know the specific details of what the concern was that prompted that call, but we do know that that caused a child protection worker to go to the children's house and interview their parents, and this was in the months before their disappearance.
The very first day I wasn't around very much because I was just searching. I was running through the woods, screaming their name till my throat hurt. I'm still holding out hope. I don't know why they didn't find anything from Jack's pull-up to her backpack or any of her belongings at all. They just haven't found anything. I mean, after the polygraph exams, they should have known right there. We didn't kill any of the kids, or we didn't kill the kids.
I'm just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home.
Malehya Brooks Murray is the mother of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. Everyone's wondering what in the world happened to these two kids. It's quite a big mystery. Is it possible that Lilly and Jack Sullivan are still alive?
I dare you.
Liam, come sing.
I got him.
Wait,
my birthday.
Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Lily, stop, honey.
Blow it, go.
Oh!
Yay!
Yay!
Everybody's away.
Happy birthday!
Say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
These two siblings were 4 and 6 years old when they went missing from their own home in Nova Scotia. Lilly and Jack Sullivan's mother, Malehya Brooks Murray, lived on that property with those children, but she left very soon after. It's possible that might have something to do with this whole situation. Now, one of the theories that we had been discussing was the possibility that Lilly, who was 6 years old, and Jack, who was 4 years old, were led to the road to a vehicle that was waiting for them, pre-planned. Lilly and Jack got into the car. The car drove off from the home with the full knowledge of their mother, Malehya, and that this was a plan, pre-planned by Malehya and possibly some family or friends or whoever it might be to get the kids away from that property. But the question is, why would she want to do that? And with that, there are different theories. Now, one of the theories that I had talked about, I came to the conclusion that it didn't really make sense for Malehya to have to take her children away, to sneak them away from Daniel, because those are her own children. Those are Malehya's biological children, and they are not Daniel's biological children. Daniel, as far as I know, is Malehya's boyfriend, and they have their own child together who is the baby, the infant Meadow. But we try and piece together or figure out why this possibility might make sense, for what reason. Now, for the reason of getting away from Daniel, it's not 100%, because you figure Malehya could have simply taken her kids away without letting Daniel know, and she wouldn't have much reason to keep them hidden afterwards. But there is more to the story. We know CPS was a part of the situation.
Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack, bugs. They're like best friends, not just brother and sister. Well, I can already tell you the drug party is absolute bullshit.
Yep.
And I even asked the RCMP, give me drug tests. I asked CPS, give me drug tests.
Yep.
They said, no, it's not a concern. We're not going to do that. I even go to Narcotics Anonymous.
Okay.
I do everything. Like, I go to 3 times a week just to clear the air for all that bullshit. I mean, even when it comes down to Jack and Lily, I'm the only one from both sides of the family that is actually doing anything. I'm doing media all the time. They probably refuse to do media with you guys, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they're not talking.
Yeah, they won't do anybody.
We learned through our reporting that Nova Scotia's Child Protection Office had been contacted by the kids' school out of concern about the way they were showing up at school. We don't know the specific details of what the concern was that prompted that call, but we do know that that caused a child protection worker to go to the children's house and interview their parents, and this was in the months before their disappearance.
I was looking through the Facebook page of the children's school to understand what their school life was like. I was really just curious about the types of things they did at school and, what their lives were like there. And I came across a photo of Jack with a black eye. And so that photo was dated December 13th, 2024. It was 5 months before he and Lilly disappeared. I asked Daniel how Jack received the black eye in December, and he didn't respond. But in private Facebook messages that were shared with me, he acknowledged that Jack had many black eyes. He said Lilly even had a black eye when Jack and Lilly disappeared from an incident that happened on May 1st, the day before the children went missing. He said a Tonka truck that she pushed down on swung up and hit her in the face.
We know that Scott Armstrong, Nova Scotia's minister responsible for child welfare, has looked into this case. He will not discuss the specifics of it.
We don't know exactly what the complaints were. We don't know what the concerns were for Lilly and Jack. Possibly someone had noticed something at school, maybe had seen some bruising on the kids, maybe had noticed some unusual behavior. Possibly Lilly had been talking about certain things, which got some attention. We have no idea at this point what it was, but obviously someone does know because CPS was contacted. We don't know exactly what that information was, but there's something there which was obviously an issue. It would take something noticeable, something of concern for CPS to be called. And I really don't think the reason of some mild autism would account for that, because these days we know autism is not rare. There is an autism spectrum for kids. The schools and teachers are well aware of this, and they look for certain signs, and that is taken into account, not involving CPS. It has nothing to do with CPS when it is suspected that a child might have some traits of autism. Daniel and Malehya had been discussing the kids having mild autism, the possibility of it. And I think they figured that would cover the whole CPS thing for the public. But that just doesn't work.
They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful. But there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds. And I don't want to go through that another night without them.
Back to the whole theory of the kids being taken away pre-planned, that Malehya would have brought them to the road, and Malehya would have instructed the kids to get into the vehicle. Now, this isn't something that we just imagined up, because Malehya's relative, Darren, is the one who tells us that this is what happened. According to Darren or Durwood, he says that Malehya planned this and that the kids were taken to a reserve and that she wanted to hide them away. And now that we have more information, as far as a reason for doing that, CPS might have given a mother the reason for hiding her children. If Malehya had been afraid that her kids were going to be taken away, she might have foreseen that CPS was going to be coming to check out the home, to see Daniel and her, and she might have feared there was a chance that the kids would be either put into foster care or just taken temporarily. Whatever it might be, she might have been afraid of that happening. And for that reason, she might have pre-planned a way to have Lilly and Jack taken away, hidden away, so that CPS wouldn't be able to take them. Before, I was thinking Malehya wanted to keep the kids away from Daniel, and that she had planned this without bringing Daniel into it, that Daniel had no idea about it. But now, it could go either way, that she did tell Daniel and she had discussed this with him, and that he's in on the plan, that he's aware the kids were taken away so that CPS wouldn't get them, or that Daniel's not aware of it and the plan was put in place that morning. Malehya had pre-planned it. She walked the kids over to the car that she told to come and get the kids, and that Daniel had no idea. Now, so many questions come up with this theory. I'm thinking to myself, how would this happen without Janie having noticed that a car was there, hearing a car, either seeing and or hearing Lilly and Jack walk up the driveway, and noticing something. With Daniel, you could say maybe he had been asleep, but we know that Janie had been up very early that morning. So let me know what you all think down in the comments. But if this theory is true, then Lilly and Jack are still alive. They haven't been harmed. And of course, Malehya would know that they would not be found in the woods because she knows where they are. They're safely hidden away, wherever that might be, possibly on a reserve somewhere, so that CPS can't take them away from her. So my own opinion, I would guess that Daniel does know. If this theory were true, my own sense of what's been going on as far as Daniel, I would guess that Daniel did know about the plan, and that he does know and is trying to help Malehya, trying to keep this secret, simply because it seems like he's in the know, like he has some information. That's my own opinion. After we've heard from Daniel, all of the interviews, all the information, everything that's come out from him, it seems like he must know something. So I've tried to put together everything to fit into this possibility. As far as what Janie said, everything else, the pool, Janie having been raking that night. Why would Janie be raking? If this plan were true, what would she be raking up for? Would she want to get rid of the prints? The footprints, to show where the kids had walked, and maybe she missed one footprint? I really don't buy her story about putting a pool there. There is something about that story. Seeing her tell the story on the driveway, I find it hard to believe. And I was thinking, why would you put a pool in a driveway when you've got, I think it's 2 acres of land?
And so they would have come out this door.
They would have come out this
that
door.
Morning.
Yes.
And then they went and played on the swing set.
Yes.
And that's when you heard them.
That's when I heard them. Right here in this area here. I plan on putting a pool up this year for the kids. You need level ground for a pool. That's what I was doing. I was leveling out the ground to set up a pool.
And this is the Thursday.
This is Thursday.
Right.
Friday, all the investigators, search and rescue and everything. Right around here was where they found the only footprint.
This is where the boot.
This is where I was raking that night. That's where the boot print was found. In the mud where I was raking.
I thought there was 2 boot prints.
There was supposed to be a footprint found away up on the pipeline.
Right.
Malehya sent me the picture of it. That's all I know. There was a footprint found.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, the footprint was here. The only one that they can confirm that was Lilly and Jack's was right here.
So it was child size.
Yes, a man, one of the investigators came in here and was measuring it all. Mm-hmm. I'm not here to lie. The reason why I wanted you guys to come here and do the interview here is to show you exactly where everything took place. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And to show people that this is what happened.
They have a big backyard. Why in the world would you want to have the kids' pool on the driveway? Like, is it just me, or could she find a better place for it? They have that slide and swing set in the backyard. There's grass in the yard. They have a deck in the yard. There's a bit of a fence in the yard. And so I really don't understand. She has her trailer in the driveway, and the place where she says she was raking to put in a pool is right in front of her trailer on the driveway. So my guess, I really don't see a pool going right there. So let me know what you think, but it just doesn't seem to fit as a correct place, as the most logical place to put a pool. Who knows what these people would do or wouldn't do or whatever. But for me, her story doesn't really make sense. I really have to question everything these people are saying. I find their story very hard to believe. I guess it's the way they're talking. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is. It's just not believable for me. So with this theory or possibility, you see that there is an accomplice. Whoever drove the vehicle waiting for the kids, they are an accomplice. We don't know which vehicle that would be, if it's more than one person who helped out, where the kids are now, who she sent them to. That person would be an accomplice as well. Family members would be accomplices. The problem with the theory is that I really have to wonder how long she would go keeping this secret, especially now that so many different detectives, different departments have come in, the searches, everything else. I'm just thinking by now she would have broken down and said, hey, I wanted to get my kids safely away because I didn't want anyone to take them, for CPS to take her kids away. But now so much time has gone by. It's been 6 months already, and they haven't found them. There hasn't been, as far as I know, unless there's someone who has called in and told police that they had seen the kids or heard that the kids were somewhere, but that really hasn't happened. So that is the part about this theory that kind of makes me think, how can it be? How can this go so long without anyone finding out or anyone calling in with a tip saying that they've seen something? We do know that Malehya did leave Daniel. She blocked him on Facebook and she's not communicating with him anymore. So obviously she had no interest in their relationship, in sticking together with Daniel. At first, when the whole thing happened, I did hear that Malehya had to leave the property because she couldn't keep the baby there and that she had to leave for Meadow. But the fact is that Malehya did block Daniel from Facebook, and they're no longer together. She doesn't speak to him as far as I know. So there is a lot going on with Malehya. It's really interesting when you think about her. There's a big mystery as far as what is it exactly like. Did she want to get away from Daniel? Was she trying to find a way to save her kids, to keep her kids away from CPS? At the same time, she wanted to keep the baby. There's so many questions with this whole situation, the mystery of Malehya. And I would really like to see the interview, the recording of the interview with Malehya. That's got to be something really revealing. Also, a lot of the stuff from the court documents is hidden when it involves Malehya. And I don't know if that's because she's giving insight into Daniel, if she's giving evidence on Daniel, or if it's because she's giving herself away and that she's the one who is hiding the true information, the true story. As far as the pink blanket, supposedly that was not there at first. Daniel's the one who comes out and says the pink blanket was not there in the tree when the school bus drove by. And he says that the detectives told him the blanket was planted, but they brought him back in for more questioning about the blanket and that he was recorded. Yet we don't know what happened with Malehya. We don't know if they pulled her back in for questioning, and so the mystery remains of exactly what is going on. I hope that this is the kind of thing where it can be straightened out and that the kids are still alive, but it's the time frame that is very concerning, because you would think after 6 months they could sort through this, straighten things out, and they would have discovered where the kids are. They would be able to do that detective work, either find some information on Malehya's phone, have an anonymous tip, something that would help them put together what happened in this case. But as of today, there's nothing. And most recently, we saw the cadaver dog search that they had in different locations. That took a lot of planning to get the dogs over to Nova Scotia. That implies they're looking for human remains versus the kids being taken and hidden away safely. And that happened, I believe it was 5 months in when they got those dogs to come over. They had to arrange that, and so the effort is being made, but I haven't seen or heard anything as far as looking into that possibility of the kids being taken away hidden on a reserve with Malehya's knowledge. So let me know what you all think down in the comments. Do you see that this is a possibility, or do you think that this is more so just a red herring in order to get the detectives off track of finding what really happened to Lilly and Jack. Leave me your comments and please remember to subscribe, turn on the notifications so that you don't miss out on the next video. And please come over to my Patreon. It's free to join. Just click on the button and it's another way for us to stay connected. And check out my community tab. I have some polls up there for the Lilly and Jack Sullivan case that you can weigh in on with your own opinion. That is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me and bye for now.
What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us. And I was drifting in and out of sleep, and they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet, and we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call.